Testing, testing. For Honor should have been called For Bullshit. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Controller. I'm Gladys, and joining me once again is Cryptic Panther.
Hey everybody.
And Fatti.
Hey.
Uber is not able to join us today, so we'll be handling as much gaming news as the three of us can. Finally, we added one. Last podcast was two. So now we're getting closer back to the original.
We're trying.
We're trying, yeah. First thing we wanted to get to, of course, is we have a statement prepared here regarding the incident that took place in Jacksonville on Sunday. Obviously, here at Beyond the Controller, we're saddened and angered at the senseless violence that happened over there, and we want to offer our sympathy and condolences to the families of all that are involved. It's a tragedy to our gaming community, to the families and friends of all those people, and even being complete strangers. It's sad news to hear. Beyond that, we don't really want to politicize or get into any of those discussions here at Beyond the Controller, so we're going to roll right back into the gaming news, but out of a sign of respect and reverence here for those people and those families, we wanted to say that first. So, moving on to our gaming news, Panther talked to us about Bandai Namco.
Okay, so Bandai Namco and Supermassive Games have announced the Dark Pictures. And what the Dark Pictures is an anthology of video games. There hasn't been a lot of information released on like each release date for each of these, I almost called them movies, each of these games. But they're doing an anthology. If you're familiar with Supermassive and Until Dawn, it was an amazing game. I loved it. I played it until I got the platinum. I just really liked the game. It was really fun, really interesting. And now that they are back making games that are not VR, because they've been in the VR world for a while, so now they're back playing. And this time, PS4, Xbox, and PC. They're not going with the PS4 exclusive that Until Dawn was. So anyone that's not familiar with, because maybe they didn't have a PS4, check out Until Dawn playthroughs. There's lots of them all over the internet. I'll even pimp myself out. I have one on my channel. But yeah, check it out. It's an awesome game. In the description, I'm linking. There's like 9 minutes of gameplay. I think it's 9 minutes from Gamescom. So each of these is like a horror movie type of deal. And I mean, these games are narrative. There's some quick time events involved, and I'm just excited. I mean, the first one is called Man of Medan. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Unfortunately, I watched the video but didn't listen to how they pronounced the name of the game because I was just excited to hear the news. Some key features, at least for this particular game, and hopefully it'll carry through to the all of them because this is how the Until Dawn game was. They deliver a new horrific narrative journey where you will confront your deepest fears. You can save them all. So all playable characters can live and all can die. The choices you make will decide your fate. Death can be just around the corner. So that was one thing about Until Dawn. I'm not going to drop any spoilers. I mean, it's well known around anyone in the gaming community that played the game or watching the gameplay is you can have characters live and die, and it changes the outcome and a bit of the story of the game as it goes. And everyone can live and everyone can die. And I'm just excited to get my hands on another one of these games. And I'm interested to see what else is coming in this anthology. So it's called the Dark Pictures Anthology. So the first game is slated for early 2019, but we have no official dates yet. But like I said, the gameplay video is going to be linked in the description from Gamescom. And yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah, me too. I actually never finished Until Dawn, sadly. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think something came out that just took my attention away from it, and I never picked it back up again. But it was released as a free-to-play, or not a free-to-play, but a PlayStation Plus game a while back.
Yes.
And I picked it back up because originally I had it on disc, so I do have it in my library and plan on replaying it at some point, probably here before we start this next game. But yeah, I like the idea of this whole anthology thing. So it kind of ties them to like their style, and they can release instead of one, massive endeavor as a single game, and then adding to it as DLC or whatever. This gives them a lot more creative freedom to give us, instead of a 12-hour story or something like that. You play for 2-3 hours, kind of like mini games is what I'm imagining this is going to be, to where
Yeah,
it's still like heavily cinematic and impactful with the decisions that you made, but they don't have to have such a wide scope on it. So I really like the idea of them releasing several unrelated things, but that have a similar horrific feel or theme or play style. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned the Until Dawn coming out for free on PlayStation Plus at one point. That's the reason me and my girlfriend actually bought a PS4, was because it was coming out that month, and we kind of needed that push to get us over the edge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we watched countless people play it, including Panther. We watched his, but we've never finished it ourselves. So, getting sort of this, I don't know if you call it an update, this kind of kickback to it definitely puts it back in my mind, where I'm like, I should probably play that again. So it'll be interesting to see some more people get a look at this game that maybe missed out on it before.
yeah. And as far as I know from one of the videos I watched regarding this was, I think the playtime they're saying for each one is going to be like 5 to 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
So each one is
even
going to
beefier than I thought.
Yeah. So each and you don't have to buy them all. So in other words, if one comes out and say you don't like the theme of it, you don't have to buy them all. It's not like you're locked in to buy each one. So it gives you choices. And like I said, for a lot of gamers, I know, like for all of us, I mean, with work and like trying to schedule just a podcast is difficult some weeks, and our game of the week series. So to schedule time to sit down and play 20, 30, 40-hour games is difficult to get through them. So getting games that are like in the 5-6 hour range, or up and down to that is a bonus. So I'm excited. Like I said, I love their first game that I played Until Dawn, so I'm stoked for whatever else they're bringing.
Yeah, I'm a huge horror fan, so when this game came out, I was super excited, and I did play through a decent chunk of it. I mean, I didn't stop at the beginning. I got pretty far in. There was one particular scene, which I won't spoil, but it had two characters in there in danger at the same time, and there was a choice that you had to make. And I swear, I moved a control one way, and what happened on screen went the opposite way, and super pissed me off. But Panther, you may know what I'm talking about.
I know,
You're chuckling.
I know exactly.
Yeah. I swear I went one way on the control and it went the opposite. I was Superman.
See, you need to play the rest of the game, dude. That's what I'm saying.
But anyways, we'll move on here. That is very interesting. I'm excited for that, and I also really like I said, that they can be so creative with smaller stories that don't have to follow one story the whole way through. And like you said, you can purchase them separately. They're not going to be, a single package that you bought into. So, if there's something like clowns or sharks, then I can just skip that.
Oh, you play it. You're going to play it. You're going to play. I'll buy it for you. You have to play it.
If we're doing it on PC, yeah. I really hope there's some type of multiplayer aspect that they can figure out for this game style. I know that'll be really difficult, but man, that would be so cool to play with you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, moving on to the next subject here. Fatti, talk to us about Bethesda.
Yeah, so Bethesda's been doing some kind of cool stuff in the, I guess I'll call it the culinary world. They've been stepping outside their video games to bring us some sort of video game themed stuff. Last time we talked about the cookbook that they're doing for Fallout, and now they're bringing us something a little more adult. They're bringing us a dark rum that they're calling Nuka Dark, and it's basically going to be pretty much a real life depiction of the Nuka Dark that was introduced in Fallout 4. So they're partnering with Silver Screen Bottling to release this dark rum, and it's going to be in a novelty bottle. It'll have the Nuka-Cola bottle with, it looks like a rocket ship and all cool and stuff like that. And it's going to have a 35% alcohol content per bottle. So, just a nice little edge off. When you come home, you can have a nice glass of dark rum and fade into the wasteland. All that stuff. I can't wait. There's no release date yet, but this isn't exactly the first time that they've done this. Bethesda before partnered with Carlsberg to release a Fallout beer line back in 2015 for a limited time, and that went out really well. I'm hoping this one's a little more permanent, but even if it's not, I mean, whether you drink or not, this could be a really cool collector's item as well.
Yeah, and I gotta wonder what it'll taste like because I'm imagining like radioactive rat blood.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it has a good rum taste. It doesn't taste like some cheap shitty rum. Because I imagine they're gonna charge a premium for this. You know, it's not
Yeah.
just a rum; it's a collector's item as well. But they're probably gonna charge a premium for it, and it's an obvious cash grab. I understand that, but I'm such a sucker for it, and I can't wait for it to get here.
You'll be able to go home and get wasted and play in the wasteland.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not.
Awesome.
I'm not a huge Fallout fan like some people in this room. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool when they're doing stuff like this. I mean, maybe other video game companies will take a look at it. I don't want to see the market flooded with crazy shit over and over and over again, but you know, some of the niche stuff would be kind of neat to see them, you know, come in with something interesting for the fans. But I'll not be buying any rum.
Well, if you think about it too, there's very few franchise that have such a fandom that this would be an option for, you know.
True.
So I can't fault them for trying to do that.
Oh, I'm not faulting them either. I just, like I said, I don't want it to become a, you know, a meme on itself. Is kind of what I meant is. But there's some other games out there that have huge fan followings that, you know, they could profit a little bit and you know, do something like this to be kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, like I touched on, this is definitely a cash grab. You know, everything they've done so far is a cash grab, even the cooking book. But it's
Alright.
cool, right? Like me as a huge Fallout fan, I'm gonna definitely have the cookbook and the rum, and I'm gonna cook myself up some Deathclaw steak and sip my Nuka Dark and just immerse myself in that world because I'm a sucker for it. But you know, that's how fandom is.
Yep, definitely.
Yep, and there's money to be had there, I'm sure. If this is not a permanent fixture on the Bethesda store somewhere, then I don't know, probably a missed opportunity. I think that beer should have stayed around. I didn't have it, but if I ever saw that in a store, you know, or if somehow, some way GameStop got a license to like sell this stuff as well, can you imagine? You know,
Yeah.
like they'd be making bank, man. Everybody would buy that shit. Even if just to try it, just because it's such an interesting talking point.
Oh, I would definitely. You know, if I saw it in a liquor store, it'd be one of the first things I grab off the shelf. You know, just to try, just to see, like, oh, this seems kind of cool. I'm gonna grab that.
Yeah.
Is it actually any good, or just buy it just to sit on the shelf until you say you have it?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
It might be shit. You know, that's the gamble.
Yep.
Yeah, that is the gamble.
As long as it's a cool bottle, eh?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so moving on here, the PlayStation Store has long been a headache for many PlayStation users and myself included. They finally updated the search UI, which is going to be helpful because I feel like the PlayStation Store is still back in like early release of PS3. Like they haven't done anything with it at all. And there were some screenshots posted of one of the beta updates here that allowed somebody to have the updated search UI, and it looks a lot better. I mean, it's still extremely simple. There's not really much to it. I mean, it's a search bar, so I'm not expecting a whole lot, but it just seems to flow a little bit better, and hopefully it's faster. Just really anything in the PlayStation Store for me is a little clunky. It just never has felt fluid. So I think it should be one of the easiest things to do for Sony and PlayStation. It's just a menu. You know, like how much work does it really take to get us here? You know what I mean?
Sony has always had that problem though with menus. Even back to the PS3 days, their UI was just terrible.
Yeah.
Same with their store, all of their apps. It seems like, and it's probably good for them. They focused more on what their system could do as opposed to how people use their system.
Yeah.
It was definitely not user intuitive. That was definitely not the first thought in their mind. Which, I mean, they're a gaming console. Maybe it shouldn't be.
The dashboard is a lot better than it used to be. The dashboard's
Now,
improved. Yeah. It's a lot faster. It's better. It's more intuitive. It'd be nice if you could change some more things yourself. And a note on this, that updated UI is available now. It's not for the new firmware. It's available now.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, well, it was posted.
Yeah,
posted
the
21st.
article. The article unfortunately didn't update it, but I was actually in the PlayStation Store today, and it's actually because someone was saying that on Reddit saying, "Oh, it's there now," and the guys were like, "You on the beta for the new firmware?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "All right." So I was on PlayStation today playing, and so I was like, "All right, I'll go check it." So it's there. So they must have, yeah. So maybe they were waiting to push it out with the new firmware, but I think the individual that posted this must have just figured it happened at the same time they got the beta. But that the new search is there, so if you want to see what it looks like, just fire up your PlayStation and
cool. There
head on over. Click on the link in the description because the screenshots are in the article. So,
and so from first-hand experience, how is it?
It's not bad. I mean, I just done a quick search. It's still the other one. It looked crappy. Is kind of it was like you pressed in a letter and you had to search through the list. It's kind of weird. But I mean, it's still the same. It still does the same thing. And you start typing in, and it gives you the games on the side. It's a little bit nicer. It seems pretty quick. It's nothing, it's nothing groundbreaking. But
one thing I want to point out is in the screenshots here, it points out that you can search by publisher.
Yeah.
So in the screenshot, they've searched Ubisoft, and all the games will come up there. You can also search by genre.
Yeah, there's some different options for searching. I didn't dig deep into it today when I was just messing around with it. But yeah, I mean, it works well. It looks better, in my opinion, than that other stupid select the letter thing. I don't know whoever designed that needs to be kicked in the nuts. But yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, once they got used to it, I was like, it's whatever, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, it's really weird. This is actually like an actual proper search system now. It's a lot better in my mind. So
cool. All right. Well, moving on here, one of our favorite games here in the podcast, Panther, tell us about Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, it's become a big favorite between us, and it seems to be a pretty big favorite on the Steam community. 2 years and 4 million copies later, Behavioral Digital talks about the growth of its asymmetrical horror smash hit. So, anyone that's on PlayStation, this was the PlayStation Plus game this month. One of the two for PS4. I played on PS4. I tried it out. I was having issues with my PC, and I couldn't play Dead by Daylight on my PC, so I played it on PlayStation for the first time. And it plays pretty similar to PC. There's not, I mean, other than being a controller versus mouse and keyboard if you don't play with a controller on PC. I found the controls a little slow in the UI, a little bit slower than the PC, but other than that, it plays well. So if you're on a PS4 and you haven't picked it up, grab it, play it. It's fun as shit. So when the game first released, it kind of was, kind of mixed reviews. It was kind of mixed in with Friday the 13th, and it didn't really seem to pick up, and a lot of people were kind of writing the game off, but that was back in 2016, and they have sold 4 million copies. The article goes on, and they talk more in depth, and I'm not going to go through and read the whole article. It's a little lengthy. The game plays well. We play it all the time on PC, and very rarely do we have any problems. There's the odd little glitch here and there, and stuff like that. But I mean, for a game that was kind of like flew under the radar for the first little while, I mean, it's gained some big numbers, and I couldn't be happier that people are playing it.
Now, I do have a question for you guys, as you are huge fans of this, but I know you guys played a lot of Friday the 13th when it first came out as well. And do you think that because they were so close together, do you think that Dead by Daylight's success kind of comes a little bit from Friday the 13th's failure?
I don't. I'll answer first. I do not, because these games, as similar as they may seem at the surface, when you play deeper and you realize all the nuances available in each one of them, they're not really that similar. There's a lot of difference to be had between these two games, regardless of one killer versus survivors. On a baseline, that's kind of where the similarities stop for me, because it's a totally different experience. Friday the 13th felt a little more generic and a lot less focused, because there was, a whole slew of survivors. There's a lot more of you for number one. It's a lot more. So it doesn't seem at any point that Jason is usually only coming for you until you're in a chase. But with the maps being so much bigger, with there being a loot system of trying to find things, with there being, stuff that required other players to help you with, it didn't really translate as well to like a person playing by themselves. We had the most fun when we played with a large group of people and we were all communicating and showing, what was going on. But trying to hop on Friday alone is a nightmare, because if you can't communicate with the other people, even with the proximity voice chat, a lot of time there was just kids or people that weren't interested in helping or just didn't have mics or whatever. So depending on other players to grab like car parts and stuff like that, call the police. Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like they did have a good thing. It was fun while it lasted. Obviously, developer issues totally killed the game, and then the lawsuit really killed the game. But before that, the developers were really digging their own grave with that. But either way, Dead by Daylight feels so much more focused to me, and it's a much purer horror experience as well. There was a lot of times where Jason would show up and we weren't even scared. I sometimes didn't even really have much of a reaction, just because there was definitely ways that you could easily outplay them. In Dead by Daylight, each killer has their own personality, but I feel like all of them are a threat. There's no killer to where I'm like, oh, this will be easy. It's never like that. So I don't know. I prefer the purer, scarier, and more focused experience of Dead by Daylight, because for a lot of the killers, you can hear them coming. For some of them, you can't. But even so, you can repair generators all game, and if you don't see the killer, then you're a lucky bastard. But you don't necessarily need other people, and especially with the inclusion of the hatch in the end game, if you're the last survivor, you really don't need other people to try to escape. So not being able to fight against the killer is the number one thing that makes this game so much scarier and so much more anxiety inducing to play. But that's just for me. So like I said, for if you're looking at just brief like bullet points of each game, they are similar. But for me, with a lot of time put into both games, there's almost, it's just two different worlds. It's two different gameplay experiences. And yes, they're both horror. Yes, they're killer versus survivor. But beyond that, they're completely different. And it's hard to really say how without somebody playing each of them for a significant amount of time. Panther, what do you think?
I kind of agree pretty largely with what you say. The experience in Dead by Daylight, whenever you're working on a generator and all of a sudden you hear the heartbeat and you're like, oh fuck, I gotta go, and you're trying to run and figure out if they're coming from left or right. It's the different feeling, because you feel so much more alone most of the time in that game, even if you're with somebody else, because it's every fucking man for himself. Because other than the flashlight, you don't have anything that's even remotely like as an offensive on the offense, right? It's everything is defensive, or just hope the hell you can get out of their line of sight. Prior to 13th, you had you had the ability to have actual weapons to engage Jason, where you could kind of defend yourself other than just running away. And that's one thing that definitely changes the game big time, is that complete helplessness of, oh shit, I can't turn around and shoot this guy, I can't hit him with a machete or a bat or anything, I just gotta run for my fucking life, or he's gonna like hang me on a hook. So yeah, there's definitely the big difference. Dead by Daylight might have got some of the more maybe not quite die hard Friday 13th players to move over, considering the player base for Friday 13th I do believe has dropped off significantly, which is sad, because I did like playing the game with a bunch of friends. It was fun, because you're more apt to taunt Jason and that type of shit. It was a different mindset. There was points where it was you're being chased by Jason through the woods and you're by yourself and you're running for your life, and it's got that scary the adrenaline pumping scariness to it. But yeah, it didn't. Dead by Daylight definitely has that ramped up, because it's more compact, and it basically you're helpless, but technically through the whole thing. So yeah, I mean it's different, but yet there's a lot of similarities just to the horror aspect of it. But yeah, I'm sad that Friday the 13th fell apart, because that game was fun.
I am as well, but yeah, this game was designed to be different too, because
Yeah.
when this first released, Dead by Daylight I'm talking about, when it first released, there was no survive with friends. There was no way to group up. It was purely just you load in as a survivor. And because the community wanted it so much, they added that feature. So it wasn't even supposed to be playable in a group like that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's supposed to be a scarier experience. It's supposed to make you feel isolated and scared and helpless. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. And even playing with friends, it still does that. Like we can hear each other scream and freak out as we're playing. And I'm like, okay, I know that you're getting picked up. I've still got some time. I'm going to work on this generator. But there is still a very much a way to play as a team. We help each other out. We call out, okay, killer's on me, so you guys have time for your generators. Don't worry. We pick each other up off the hook. We work on generators together, heal each other. I mean, there is still a lot of team play that we can do now. But yeah, it's an absolutely different experience.
The fact that you can like the first game I played on PlayStation 4, I escaped via the hatch. Because everyone else got smoked. One guy disconnected, and the other two players got killed. So, and I mean, it was just, and I was playing with randoms because none of my buddies were on PS4 that night. So, yeah, I escaped via the hatch. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't technically need anybody else's help to basically survive that round. But in Friday the 13th, it was so rare for you to be able to find, the parts for the car, get the police called without having someone help you. It was rare for you to solo enough of it to escape. So yeah, I mean, it definitely different in a lot of ways, but yeah, both great games, in their day. For
Yeah,
Friday the 13th.
I think so as well. I mean, Friday, like I said, was just plagued with developer problems and dumb decisions for the game, not including dedicated servers on consoles.
Yeah.
But having it built into the PC, and then they tried to say that, oh, we needed to update the whole engine just to do this, and it's just not true, number one. But number two, it still took forever to release the engine update, and then every update that came after it just broke more shit. They were just inexperienced developers, and they didn't really know what they were doing. But yeah, the actual gameplay itself, the first few weeks of the game were the best because nobody was leaving those matches. We didn't really have a host leaving problem until a month or two in.
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted to play the game. And even if you died, you could still spectate, and it was fun that way. But yeah, once people started really leaving as the host, then it would just end the game right there. I mean, we realized how big of a problem that was going to be. And unfortunately, the developers couldn't react fast enough to try to save it.
No. And that's like I said, there was bad decisions. I'm hoping they've learned from their mistakes, and I'm hoping they can give us another game that maybe not quite Friday the 13th, but something kind of mixed with that style of gameplay, like a more open, like not couldn't be Friday the 13th, but you know what I mean, like something like that, but a totally different genre of some sort that's similar to Killer versus like 8 people type of thing. Something, because like that game, there's not a lot of games out there like that. The larger, I mean, like Dead by Daylight, it's the 4 versus 1. I mean, Friday the 13th, what, 7 versus 1? Was it?
I think so.
7.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like something like that. Was I mean, if you have more than 3 friends that want to play it, it definitely lends to a larger group of buddies wanting to get together and play a game like that. So I'm interested to see if they can recover from this tragedy of Friday the 13th and come up with something down the road that'll garner some fans back. But yeah, as of right now, if you're looking for a fun game to play either by yourself or with friends, I'm recommending Dead by Daylight. It's a blast.
For sure. And then Fatti, to have you answer your own question, what do you have to say in addition to that?
Well, I mean, I haven't played Friday the 13th, so it's kind of my own curiosity. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
So I can't really weigh in on this, but I can definitely still recommend Dead by Daylight. Great game.
Definitely. All right, well, let's move on then. Fatti, talk to us about CD Projekt Red, one of my favorite developers.
Yeah, so Monday morning, a bunch of people woke up to a weird Twitch stream by CD Projekt Red, simply called Data Transmission in Progress. And the only thing it was showing was a black screen with a whole bunch of numbers, letters, and symbols. Think the Matrix, basically. and everyone tuned into it. There was over 50,000 people watching absolutely nothing, all hoping that this had something to do with the developer's new anticipated game, Cyberpunk 2077. Surprise, surprise, that's exactly what it had to do with. Later on in the day, this stream turned into basically a gameplay demo. And it was a full 48 minutes of just pure gameplay through Cyberpunk 2077. And I only checked it a few minutes, but this game looks fucking awesome. I cannot wait for this game. It looks so good. So it was basically the team they went through and they gave this sort of gameplay demo. And apparently they gave this gameplay demo to the media before at Gamescom, I believe. It was a media only release. But then they thought, let's get over our own insecurities and let's just release it to the people. They said it's a work in progress. A lot of things are going to be changed and fine tuned, but this is the basis of the game. And it cycled through basically a few starting missions as well as a random encounter that you can get in this game's world while you're walking around. So it's kind of cool to see that, you do have your main story mode, but you can just be walking around this world and someone's going to walk up to you and give you something to do, which is really cool. Anyway, the stream went on for about 48 minutes. They explained, the different aspects of the gameplay, stuff like that. And then that was it. So as of right now, like the developer said, this is still a work in progress. They claimed that what you're seeing on this stream, which is available online, we'll put the link at the bottom, what you're seeing in the stream might not necessarily be the game exactly, but from what I saw, it's pretty goddamn polished. And even the developer themselves in a previous interview said the game as it stands right now is fully playable from beginning to end. So I'm assuming that there's going to be some news coming out on this pretty soon.
Super exciting, and in a bold move to market it this way through Twitch.
Yeah.
I don't know that we get too many developer announcements, through a platform such as this, but it's interesting that they chose to do it that way. They could have just put the video out on YouTube or on their website or whatever, and that Twitch got the nod here was an interesting aspect.
Yeah, I think we're seeing more of this now, though, especially with streaming becoming so prevalent in the gaming industry. I mean, Bethesda did it with Fallout 76. It was just a stream of a Vault Boy statue. That was on for days, and so many people tuned in for it. And then it was just a screen of numbers and letters, and 50,000 people were like, yes, something's happening, let's watch this. And it's fucking genius because it gathers so much attention. People are so willing to look at nothing out of anticipation that this is like marketing genius. It paid off. I mean, this game looks fucking phenomenal.
Didn't that live stream go on for like 4 hours or something crazy before the gameplay actually started, or 3 hours? Or
it started like really early Monday morning.
I seen a post on Reddit about it like early this morning, and I was like, okay, this is it's going to be something. It's going to be some big trailer or whatever. I wasn't expecting 48 minutes of gameplay, because before we recorded tonight, I was like online checking some shit, and I was like, oh, there's actually a gameplay video. I pressed play on YouTube. I'm like, 48 minutes? I don't have 48 minutes to watch it. I watched like maybe 2 minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes. I'm watching it tomorrow. Like I got it set on my watch later list on YouTube. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be watched tomorrow for sure. When I have some time to dedicate 48 minutes to watch it. But yeah, I'm like you. I mean, this game right off the bat, it's like, it looks pretty polished. I mean, they're definitely not going to show us 40 minutes of gameplay of the most unpolished stuff they have. And I know that statement they made about the game being playable from one end to the other. They did say there's a lot of assets that aren't in the game. It's more the story is playable from start to beginning. So they still have a lot of work to do. And I know they were talking about it on Kind of Funny Games the other day as well. That particular article about the playing from one end to the other. So they're the same way. And I'm thinking we're not getting it. It's not this year. We know that for a fact. I'm thinking the end of next year. I'm thinking it's going to be the big 2019 holiday release. That's my guess. That's my guess.
Probably, but I hope we don't have to wait that long. I really don't.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be.
honestly, I want to play this game now. It looks so good.
It's been 6 years in development now. They're no rush. So yeah, I can't see it being released early or even mid next year. I mean, the way they're talking, like there's a lot of assets and stuff not in place and UI, and it's like there's a lot of work left. And I'm thinking that they've waited 6 years. They're not going to rush to at the last step to get out to everybody. I'm figuring it's going to be end of next year. That's my guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can kind of come to expect that from CD Projekt Red because they seem to put a lot of work into their games. They're not ones to just sort of release something and say, "Oh, there's a whole bunch of bugs." Well, shit, too bad we missed that. They tend to take their time. I mean,
they're not Bethesda.
Exactly. They're not releasing the next Fallout game that is famously known for its fucking bugs. But like Witcher 3 was so well done that with this game I couldn't even imagine how good it's going to be.
Right. And at launch too, as you were alluding to, is that they don't release games that are broken.
Mm-hmm.
No, so yeah, I'm excited. I want to watch the 48 minutes of gameplay. That's what I'm excited for right now. So yeah, I'm like finally we get to see something because I know at E3 they had a small like behind closed doors. People had to sign NDAs to sit in the room to watch stuff, and I'm like, damn you bastards! Invite Beyond the Controller team to the next E3.
Yeah, listen there. E3 2019, invite us.
Yeah.
Give us that all access. We'll give you some good promotion if your stuff is shit.
Yeah, our two viewers would love to hear about some insight. All right, we'll move on here to the next subject. Twitch Prime. For those of you that know about it, I myself actually have this just because I have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It's paired. It's Amazon Prime that you pair it with your Twitch account, and it gives you certain perks. It gives you some free games each month, some in-game loot. It's a subscription service that you would otherwise be paying for, and it would be $4.99. Twitch announced that it's going to disable ad-free viewing for Twitch Prime members, which was previously a big perk. That will be the only thing that is changing with the Twitch Prime account. And they're doing it for several reasons. First, a statement from the company says that advertising is an important source of support for the creators who make Twitch possible. This change will strengthen and expand that advertising opportunity for creators so they can get more support from their viewers for doing what they love. It's also very important to note here that Twitch itself is also going to be financially benefiting from removing this perk for Amazon or for Twitch Prime users, excuse me. Although the free monthly subscription that you can use as a Twitch Prime member is still going to be there. Twitch is enabling ads for those Twitch Prime users because they do get revenue from the ads as well. So advertisers pay Twitch, for putting these ads up before streamers. A large portion of people that are either Twitch Turbo users or Twitch Prime users, the ads weren't affecting, so they weren't getting that ad revenue back into themselves, kind of. But Twitch disabling this leaves an even smaller group of people that have ad-free viewing. So that's more ads for people to see, which means they can charge more for the ads that are being shown, and possibly, more people clicking the ads or whatever. So Twitch is trying to help its own streamers with ad revenue and obviously pull in more money for themselves by disabling this. For me personally, this doesn't really bother me too much. Despite having Twitch Prime, I still, didn't really take advantage in the time that I've had it of ad-free viewing because I don't really watch streams. I'm just not one of those people that finds it too enjoyable to watch other people play. I really don't. I would rather get in there and play myself, and I end up just getting frustrated seeing them do things that I would do differently. So for me personally, not a big deal. Twitch is trying to get their money and they're entitled to it. For some people, though, they're probably going to be a little up in arms about this, and they probably will not be opting to upgrade to the Twitch Turbo because that's going to be $8.99 per month for the ad-free viewing. So if it really, really bothers you, you still have a route for ad-free Twitch streams. If not, you're going to be watching ads just like, you've been doing for the rest of your life on every other platform. I don't think it's too big of a deal. What do you guys think?
I've from what I've been reading, the people that seem to be the most worried about this change are the streamers themselves. Um, a lot of people liked how the ads were taken off for Twitch Prime because it was another incentive for people to buy Twitch Prime, and with that also came free subscriptions. So with Twitch Prime, you got a free subscription when you signed up that you could give to a streamer and were able to support them. A lot of streamers, like some of the top ones, Ninja, Doctor Disrespect, yada yada yada, they a huge part of their subscription base is from those free subscriptions. And a lot of people found that even just announcing this change, a lot of those subscriptions started to go away because a lot of people started canceling their Twitch Prime. So that's really the only turmoil I've heard from it. Personally, myself, I don't fucking care. you know, if you're gonna play an ad in front of the stream, whatever, it's either gonna help Twitch or it's gonna help the streamer. So I'm all about supporting both platforms because they're good. Streamers are making great content. Twitch is helping streamers put that out there, so I'll support that. Am I gonna buy Twitch Turbo? No, I'm not spending money to get ads not played in front of my video. It's just not worth it.
Right. Panther, what about you? You watch some streamers from every time to time, What do you think?
It's rare I watch. Most of the times I'll catch like developers streaming like updates or some pre-release, some beta stuff. I don't really watch a lot of streams. My focus on entertainment via video games, if it's not myself, it's watching YouTube where people are playing cinematic style games or making cinematic style content out of games. So I don't usually sit and watch someone play. Broken Machine plays on YouTube. That's pretty much where I watch as a first stream. If I'm watching anybody stream like an actual like FPS, I don't fucking watch Fortnite videos. You couldn't
Sorry,
pay
Uber.
me. You couldn't pay me to watch I mean, I'll jump on Uber stream just to fucking roast them, but
Right.
I ain't there for the content. It's there to roast Uber, but. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't affect me because even if I'm loading up to watch any streams, an ad is, unless it's like it's going to be like an 8-minute fucking tampon ad, it's not going to bother me. Even then, a tampon ad ain't going to bother me. Just an 8-minute ad is going to piss me off. But yeah, I mean, yeah, ads in front of a stream is not going to change my life. And I have Twitch Prime, and I've used that free subscription thing once in my life. I keep forgetting I have it. I didn't even know how to use it because I don't go. It became because I have Amazon Prime. I got it, and I'm like, whatever. I don't. I'm not on Twitch enough to worry about it. I don't even use it for streaming. I'm trying to get back on to do a little bit, but man, I just can't set a schedule to guarantee times to start streaming. So, yeah, it's not affecting me any. I just hope it doesn't affect the bottom line of some of the smaller people that relied on those, the free subscriptions every month that people were giving them. So, I mean, the bigger guys, they're not going to hurt too bad, I don't think.
Well, I just want to be clear. You do still get, as a Twitch Prime member, the free monthly subscriptions.
Yeah,
Right.
but no one signs up for Prime for the free monthly subscriptions. They sign up for
No.
the ad-free viewing.
Well,
It was just a nice tie-in.
Yeah, well,
But
I mean,
if
if you still have Amazon Prime, you still have that free subscription every month to give to whoever. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if people were like, well, that was one of the advantages was no ads and having the free subscription. It's still there for people, and people still use it. But I'm just saying, like, I just kind of hope it doesn't impact the smaller ones.
I don't anticipate it doing that.
I don't
because
think so either.
The
but-
direction that I'm thinking of this is people are not buying Amazon Prime in order to get Twitch Prime.
No.
The people that have Twitch Prime most likely didn't buy it separately. They just have it because they have Prime. So I don't think that it's going to be as hugely impactful on the streamers' subscribers because, most people still have their Prime accounts. They're not going to, I don't think, cancel this just because there's going to be some ads in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, there might be
like Panther and I both said, we have Twitch Prime because we have Amazon Prime. I'm entirely just kind of like okay about that. I'm not excited or whatever, but I was like, I'll see what benefits I can get, sure. But I think a large portion of the Twitch Prime members are most likely just Amazon Prime users. So
Oh, more
I
than
don't think they're
likely.
going to be canceling subscriptions left and right here. I don't
No,
think it's going to be a
there's
mass exodus.
there's going to be a small bit, but like I said, if there is a small group that did get Amazon Prime or pay whatever the actual Twitch Prime if you buy it separate, whatever that is, if it's an option, there might be a small base that would do that because it's like, well, I'm getting stuck with ads now. Screw it. Those the free crate in PUBG every month wasn't worth the $4 a month or whatever. I've never taken a free game, a free crate. I've never used any of that stuff, and I've been a Prime member for I don't know for quite a while, and I've never used any of that shit. The only thing I did was one time I give some of my Twitch Prime subscription because I was like, oh yeah, I have this. How do you do that? And I like Googled it, and I'm like, oh, there. And I give it to Buddy. I'm like, there you go. Take my take. Here's $5.
Give mine to Uber.
Did you?
Yeah.
I never thought of that. I didn't give it to Uber. I should have.
Well, you get one each month.
Yeah, I have to go back in next time.
Probably do it right now.
Next time you stream, I'll have to give it to him.
Yeah, but I think that Twitch will be fine.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Moving on to our next subject here, we can't seem to stop talking about controllers and limited edition shit for PlayStation. Panther, what's going on now?
I'll tell you, man, this is I'm all a tither.
All tithered up.
I tell you, man, I'm linking this article because my God, you got to see these controllers, ladies and gentlemen. The name of the first one is Berry Blue. It is an abomination.
It's a very dumb design. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you like the color, like all the power to you. I mean, it gives options for people that don't want a black controller or a blue one or whatever else is it. White, silver, pink. How many gold? How many fucking colors of the rainbow do we need? So they give us 4 new colors. Berry Blue, which is a lightish. It's almost a light green, really. To me, I don't know, maybe I'm colorblind.
No, it looks teal to me.
It's a tealy, and it's got like a mauve. Is that mauve purple back grip? I don't like it. Like really, it's not my thing. The one out of the group that I like the most, and I'm still not a big fan of it, is the Sunset Orange. The backing and the sticks are blue. If the backing and the sticks were black, I would be more on that. Orange and black to me.
I like the orange though.
Orange and black to me is a lot better combination than orange and blue. It doesn't look bad. I mean, if I was needing a controller and that was in the store versus a plain black one, I probably would grab that if the price difference wasn't at all. So I mean, I have a blue one, I have a white one, and I have a silver one that is still in the box. So yeah, I mean, I don't need a controller anytime soon, but the orange one would be on my list out of this group, I think. The next we get is a blue camo. It's a camo controller. It's a, I don't know what kind of pattern.
Looks just like the white camo that I have, actually.
Yeah, kind of. It's nothing too exciting. Like I said, there's images in the article I'll link. And then the copper one.
This looks terrible.
Yeah, when I first seen it was going to be copper, I'm like, okay, that could look good. I don't know. It's not a deep enough copper, I don't think, in my opinion. It maybe a bit too deep. It looked more bronze than copper, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe if the back of it was black, because they have the buttons and the control sticks and the D-pad are black, but the back of it is also bronze. So it's fully bronze instead of having a solid different color on the back like the other controllers. So yeah, maybe if it had a black background on it, it would look a little bit sharper. But yeah, I mean, PlayStation, like Jesus, man, why don't they just have people just order any Technicolored shit they want for their controllers? Because man, people seem to be buying this stuff because they keep making it. I'm like,
yeah, and it's funny to me that the price is $5 more.
Yeah.
Than the price of a regular controller too. So, yeah, I wish the controller prices would have gone down too, and I don't know if that's like actually supposed to be a thing or if markets tend to do that, but I just feel like paying $60 for a controller is just too much, anyways.
I know when I picked my last one up, I waited for a sale. I mean, I didn't even really need one at the time, but just for the fact this my 2 original black ones that came with my launch PlayStation are long gone. And I'm down. Well, my white one that came with my PS4 Pro and my blue one that I bought, I was like, well, you just never know when something's, going to get dropped and broken or just stop working, stop charging, because you can't replace the batteries unless you start pulling them apart. So I'm like, yeah. So if they're on sale, I'll grab one. But yeah, I don't seek out the special colored ones. The silver one looks nice, but if I had a black controller, it doesn't play any different.
Yeah, I mean they're just controllers.
Yeah.
I mean it's just something to look at, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean I don't care about colors. I really don't. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm not looking at my controller as I'm playing it. And if I'm sitting somewhere in my living room and I'm looking at my controller, I'm probably gonna play it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't.
But
I don't get pulled in by this stuff.
But if it was berry blue, would you not want to play with it more?
No. No. I do like the orange. Orange is my favorite color, but I'm not gonna buy one. I mean, the only reason I buy a controller is because I need to replace it. And if I need to replace it, I'm already unhappy enough about spending $60 on it that I'm not going to pay more just for a color that I'm going to like.
But if you walked into the store and they were the same price and you had a black one and the orange one.
Same price, I would buy probably the black one still, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, just because, I don't know, it's so garish, it's so attention grabbing that I don't know. I'm a minimalist in a way like that. I just
says the guy
with things.
Says the guy with the 70-inch TV.
Well, yeah, but that's for a totally different reason. It's not a 70-inch poster of a bright color and rainbows. Like I don't need the attention grabbing for that. I'm a cinephile to where I love movies and TV and everything like that. So I have a use for that.
I know.
I don't know. The controller's too much.
Yeah.
I've noticed a recurring theme in this group that myself and you two never agree on style. We never agree on style. It's either I think it's shit and you guys are like, that's kind of cool, or I think it's kind of cool and you guys are like, this is fucking terrible. But we never agree. Because personally, I would buy every single one of these except for the camo. I fucking hate the camo one.
Yeah.
But I would buy every single one of these, especially the berry blue. That's my favorite.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god. The color scheme actually reminds me of No Man's Sky.
The orange one reminds me of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
See,
I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
See, that's why the orange and blue turns me off. I don't like Dragon Ball Z is not a thing for me. Like, no thanks.
I love it.
So yeah, so I mean, it's like the orange and blue is not my favorite. But like I said, out of them all, I think the orange one looks as one passable. If I had a choice of the four, like if that was the four controllers and I had to pick one, it would be the orange one. But I have a skin, like a blue skin that covers the whole controller, so I'm good to go no matter what.
You should get that checked out.
I don't know. I'd buy the berry blue immediately.
I knew you would. I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew.
Yeah. Well, okay. I have a thing with my consoles. Is my consoles themselves have to be kind of like not outrageous because they sit on my entertainment stand, right? That's this whole thing that I said before. You have company come over, they look at your console, they look at your entertainment stand, and I want to be represented as an adult. But my controllers are usually tucked away on a shelf somewhere, along with all my other gaming knickknacks. I want them to really fucking pop. I mean, I have a gold PS4 controller. My Xbox 360 controller is pink and black. Like, it just goes on and on. So I would buy the shit out of these.
See, I'm the other way around. I tell everybody I'm no fucking adult. I'm the oldest one in this podcast, and I ain't no fucking adult. So, yeah.
You're growing old, but not growing up.
Fucking right. That's my motto since I was like 2 years old, man.
His pre-order's already in for the Spider-Man PS4. He's set.
No, it's not.
That's funny. All right, let's move on here. There's only so much time we should spend on the PS4 color controllers. Fatti, talk to us about Uber's favorite game because he's not here to do it.
Oh fuck yeah. I literally only added this because he was not here. Everyone knows what Fortnite is. I don't want to explain it. It's that fucking game 12-year-olds play.
Yeah.
It's getting some competitive features this fall.
Oh.
Epic announced that Epic basically admitted that their E3 Pro-Am tournament was a total shit show. So now they're focusing on some features that are going to make future tournaments a little more pleasing to those both performing watching and announcing for them. So they're going to be rolling out a list of features this fall, which includes stuff like a live spectating functionality, which will give announcers control over the cameras and sort of allow them to pick and choose what they want to be shown to keep things a little more lively. I guess the main complaint from E3 was, other than the lag and people just being shitty people, uh, the main complaint was a lot of the gameplay was boring because people played safe. They wanted to win that money, and they had no way of choosing which camera to set it on. So it was kind of boring. So they're going to be rolling out that. They're also going to be including some other functions that will allow people to do like customized gamepad setups, input-based matchmaking to balance the field. And this is kind of cool. I like when games do this. Input-based matchmaking between mouse and keyboard and controller. So if you're playing, no matter what platform, if you're playing with a controller, you're only going to get tagged with people that are playing with controllers.
That's nice, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing sucks more than going into a round and getting fucking destroyed by the mouse and keyboard guys because you're stuck with a controller. Maybe your shit's not working right, you know? So having that sort of balance, that's nice. I'm still not going to play the game, but good for Epic.
But let's step back a little bit. You said people watched the E3 program tournament and said it was boring. Well, yeah. They're watching Fortnite. What the fuck do they think it's going to
be? Now, Panther, there's some people in the world, mainly 12-year-olds, that really find this shit entertaining.
Yeah.
Like our colleague Uber. So
it's just weird to me that this already wasn't a thing, though, for the announcers, because can you imagine, any other game or sporting event or something like that? Like if you imagine NFL or NBA broadcasters, and they weren't watching what was going on downfield where the action is or whatever, the camera was just stuck on somebody else. Like, how are you supposed to make that engaging and everything? Like, what were they thinking, not having some way to focus on the action? It was just a really, really critical overstep.
Yeah, I mean, considering how much money they've invested in this game so far and in the tournaments themselves, I mean, these are not low quality shows. They're putting some real money out there. Considering all that, you'd think they would have put this out first.
Yeah. I mean, because what was the testing phase of this? Did they just decide to do it and do nothing until the day of? I mean,
well, they're in the testing phase right now. They said they're working on a version of live spectating functionality.
No, I don't mean for this. I don't mean this specifically, but that's what I'm saying is before the event, before the crash and burn that we've been referencing.
I imagine
before that, what was the testing?
They just hooked up some computers and said, we're probably good.
It sounds like when Doing Work does an audio test with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's good for them that they're making the steps, I guess. Like you said, this is now in development and it should have already been, but better late than never, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the fact that we talked about Fortnite is kind of funny as well, because when I pulled up the doc and I was reading through what was here on my screen, there was no Fortnite article. And I said to Fatti, this is before you showed up, Gladys, it was, oh, great, no Uber, that means no Fortnite. And he was like, oh, I added one. I scrolled down the page and there was a Fortnite. I'm like, son of a bitch.
I couldn't let us get away that easily. We gotta represent our man Uber somehow. I mean, he's gone on to the great beyond, but we've got to still have him here in our hearts.
He needs to get back to the beyond.
Yeah. Stop running around on his vacation. Get back to the real world where the rest of us are.
Yeah. All right, moving on here. This is actually going to be our last topic. We're at the hour mark just about. And this is a big one, actually. I was really hoping that we did have time to get through to this. So Xbox, or Microsoft rather, excuse me. Microsoft is launching a new subscription service dubbed Xbox All Access. And this is actually a really interesting discussion that I think we should have. This is going to give people the opportunity to basically split the cost of an Xbox console and subscriptions over a 2-year period. It's a payment plan. So the two options they have here is going to be a payment of $21.99 per month, and that gets you an Xbox One S, Xbox Live, and the Xbox Game Pass for 2 years. If you want to upgrade and get, the beefier version, the best Xbox out there, you can pay $34.99 a month, and that will get you the 2 subscriptions and an X, Xbox One X. I fucking hate all the versions that sound the same. But you can get, right now it is the most powerful console on the market, Xbox One X, Xbox Live, and Xbox Games Pass, which, I mean, internally here, aside from the podcast, we've been talking about getting the Games Pass, right?
I actually picked it up.
You did?
Yeah, so
Okay.
Yeah, because it's
Well,
$2,
there you go.
$2 for 2 months, and I don't have an Xbox. I just got it because there's a few of the games that are on PC. I wanted to try them anyways. So yeah, it's $2 for 2 months on special until the end of August. So grab it up if you want it.
Yeah. So if you just paid these costs up front, an Xbox One S costs around $230. Xbox Live is currently $59.99 a year, and the Xbox Game Pass is currently $9.99 per month. That's when it's not on special. So you put all of these things together, and that's actually kind of a deal, man. That's a way to do it that's interesting and different. And I'm not necessarily surprised that Microsoft is one that came out to do this, because their console sales have been lagging far behind. They got to figure out some way to boost this. So if you put a low cost per month instead of so many, dollars down at once, because that is a prime detractor of buying a new console, is that it's several $100s, and then that doesn't even get you what it's supposed to be capable of doing, or the most output, because then you've got to buy the Xbox Live, similar with PlayStation Plus, and then Game Pass gets you a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So I actually think this is a pretty good deal, and they should probably see a significant boost to how many people are going to do this, because that's pretty enticing, honestly.
The only thing I just noticed, I just went to Microsoft.com. I just Googled it. Xbox All Access. It is only in the United States, because when I click on the link to go to the Canadian store, it says basically says page doesn't exist. I'm like, fuckers. So
Wow.
and it's through powered by Dell preferred account. So you're gonna have to make sure that you have must be enough credit to do this. Like there's gonna be you got to apply. It's not like every man and his dog's gonna be able to get this because it's But yeah, apparently from what I can see, wait now, I clicked on find a store, and it shows 3 Canadian stores: Alberta, British Columbia, and Ontario, and I'm near none of those places.
Well, the thing is it goes through the Microsoft store, like the physical stores, right?
Yeah.
So we only have 3 of those in Canada, because Microsoft, I guess their shit isn't that big here. Whereas in the States, they have plenty of them.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine that we'll be getting it anytime soon, unless they're going to start opening up some stores across the country.
Well, the only other way they could do it is if they're using the Dell preferred account, if they start selling it through the Dell website, which would be smart, because it opens up a whole lot more people to the ability to get this. I'm not saying I'm going to get it, but just that would be the smart move. If they're already using the Dell preferred account to basically bankroll it, like for people to have the credit to do it, then why wouldn't you sell this through the Dell store? So maybe that'll
my
change,
question my question for this is, okay, so you go to the Microsoft store, you sign up for this, you get approved, you get yourself an Xbox One X and Game Pass and Live, but you have to pay per month. How long is this term? Like
2 years.
2 years.
2 years? So you're going to have Live and Game Pass for 2 years only.
Yes.
Then. Okay, then you'll have to start buying it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, so the
Gotcha.
price of the console and those 2 subscriptions is what gives it $21.99 per month.
Or 30.
After that, or the $34.99 for the Xbox One X. But after that, your 2 years is up. You've paid the console off, and your subscriptions expire.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just have to pay for the subscription. So if you didn't want Live but wanted to keep Game Pass for what are games, or vice versa, you don't have to pay one. Or if you want to keep both, then you know the console's paid for. You didn't have to shell out the $600 for the Xbox One X up front. So, and it's not like from the looks of it, unless there's some hidden fees or something somewhere else rolled into it, it doesn't look like it's not going to cost you a whole lot more if anymore at all.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have a markup to it.
Yeah,
just doing some quick math, they're gonna net probably $100 or so from each person who does this. I don't know if they're gonna tack interest onto this or anything, but just 2 years of $34.99 for the Xbox One X is $839.76. That's no taxes, no interest.
Well, $120 of that is Xbox Live.
Exactly.
That subscription, and then $9.99 per month is the Game Pass. But what we're saying is there's no markup for the console. This looks to be the straight market price.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not making a whole lot of money off of this. So that's
it's just to push console sales.
Push for market share. It's a push for market share.
Yeah,
exactly what it is. It's a push for market share, and I mean they're not going to sell 39 or 49 million, whatever it is, it's going to take them to catch up to PlayStation this generation. But it definitely sets them up for down the road. For someone that's been on the fence, it's like, oh man, I don't want to take my $600 and buy the console and then have to spend 60 for that and 20 for that, and like, yeah. So this is going to get you, $35 a month. That's nothing. I just won't, go to the movies twice, or I just won't, because I have an Xbox, I can stay home now. I don't have to go to the movies twice, or I'll cut back on Starbucks or whatever. So yeah, I mean, 35.
That's a pretty decent dinner,
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really affordable.
Yeah, so I mean, it really is. So I mean, if they open this up and take my idea, which they should give me a commission on, and sell it through the Dell store and open it up at least in North America, they will definitely make some sales. Definitely, because I know there's people that are like just don't want to spend the upfront cost of buying the console because they've got a PlayStation, but yet they want to play Forza, or they want to play Gears, or they want to play Halo, but I'm not spending $600 on a console and then everything else on top of it. So yeah, $35 is like a dinner out. So yeah.
Yeah, this is actually, I think,
a fancy restaurant. So
a very smart move. This is ingenious, really, because the primary thing for me and a lot of other people is I don't want to drop that money. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to buy this or I'm going to buy into it, because I'm not. But that's really just because, as you guys, I'm sure, have no doubt noticed, we've really moved away from console gaming. There's games that we absolutely look forward to and playing, but right now, primarily, we've all been playing on PC.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, like I said, not doing this, but for a lot of people where price was the main thing, and that's a huge amount of money to drop, $400, $500, $600, whatever. People don't want to drop that much money. It's a hell of a lot, and you can get a lot more with it. It seems, for that same price. There's a ton of things that you could buy. You could buy a fucking 65-inch TV for that much now. So
in the United States, you can't get a 65
in the United States. Yes. but what I'm saying is, yeah, with their push for market share by doing this is really ingenious. I just have to wonder if it's too little too late. If they had come out and said this on launch, that would have been a huge advantage.
But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. They've announced their next console is already like being massively tested, developed. Like they're basically saying, they're wagging their dick saying, hey, we got the next console ready. Where, that was their play at E3. They come out basically saying, we got the next console being developed right now. Sony, everyone knows Sony's working on one, but Sony hasn't said anything, right?
And they typically don't.
No, but this here is a test. This is only a test for what's coming. Because they've announced, the rumor they've announced that they're having a full-blown console and they're having the streaming console. So there's 2 new consoles that they're pushing. And if this subscription service works and they start getting numbers on this, you guarantee you day fucking one, when they launch the new console in 2020 is the rumor, that it's going to be purchasable this particular way. They're going to say, we're partnered with Dell, we're partnered with GameStop, EB Games in Canada, whatever they're going to do to get this subscription to purchase the console by $35 a month or $45 a month, whatever the new console is going to cost, broken down over 2 years. I fucking guarantee you, if this works, then that's exactly what's going to happen. This is a test.
I agree. Yeah.
So,
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So, I mean, PlayStation's got to look at that. I mean, PlayStation's got, they've been kind of hit bad in the press with, the whole cross-platform bullshit that went on, and people still make jabs at them over that, and it's kind of gone to the wayside a little bit in the news. It's not really been relevant recently, but every once in a while, there's posts, there's ads posted by, Microsoft and Nintendo regarding, the cross-platform stuff, just to kind of keep it fresh. So, I mean, yeah, if Sony's going to falter in this next upcoming console, and Xbox goes with this subscription service and the new console, I think they'll swing a heavy hand and they have a shot at it. I mean, if they can get the exclusives, which that's their biggest downfall right now, is the games.
Yeah, but this is a great way to move consoles. They just obviously have to have the games to support it. But if they come out next year, 2 years, however long it's going to be, and we have our next console generation that's going to release, and Xbox is supported by this subscription service and by the deals that you said, and Sony doesn't answer in kind, then they could be in some real trouble.
Yeah, personally, I mean, I'm not a fanboy of any of them. They all have their fucking problems. I'll be the first one to lay them out. But I think the next year or so is probably going to be a big year for Xbox. Just the moves that they're making, I think it's going to be a good time for Xbox, regardless of what Sony does.
Yeah. Now, the only advantage, I think, to having Microsoft do this first is typically they've stumbled over themselves with making their announcements.
Mm-hmm.
And Sony is extremely tight-lipped with their development process and the things that they've decided to do. Like, until they announce it, we've got no clue. So, you remember when they were announcing the Xbox One and the PS4 and the debacle that Microsoft had there, to where they had to change the entire direction of the console. They wanted internet access only, among other things, and the entire fan base was just like, fuck you guys. Yeah. PlayStation came out and was just like, we already won this and we know it. And the swagger and the way that they just totally big dick the press conference after that was I don't think it'll happen again like that, but Microsoft does have to be careful, because they just came out and did this, and Sony's going to be watching closer than anybody. And like you said, if this is successful, they're going to absolutely do it with the next generation consoles that they release. And Sony will probably follow suit if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be crazy not to. If this works, they'd be crazy not to give people that option to purchase. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's cool that they're really giving opportunity for people that don't want to just lay down that $600-800 chunk of change to buy the console and the Xbox Live and the Games Pass to get all the goodies. So yeah, I mean, this is smart. Like I said, it'll have to see how it works out, considering the profit margin isn't large on consoles to begin with. A lot of them, I know, at launch are sold at a loss. So, I mean, they're making money now. They have to be. If they're not, I mean, Microsoft will go under. Same as Sony would do the same thing. Their entertainment division would go under if consoles were always a loss. But yeah, I mean, it's they're scratching to make inroads in different areas, and it's hopefully going to be good for gamers.
I think it will be. I think especially that we did the quick math, and with the subscription services and the cost of the console, if there doesn't seem to be a markup there, that's great. Honestly, that really, really is, because it's much better to just pay a very small fee, every month, instead of dropping $400 or $500 or $600 even. And then, then you've got to buy games as well. And, it's much easier to just pay $21, if you get a basic version, or if you pay the streaming console price, that they're going to release. And that's only like $15 because it's not a really beefy thing. That'd be fucking awesome, honestly. Now, I probably still will not buy an Xbox console. I'm almost definitely going to be going towards PlayStation, because that's what I've always had, and I've always genuinely felt that it's a better product and they have better games. So if they come out, the next year or two, and they say that they're going to do the same type of subscription thing, and I can get the PlayStation 5, which is capable of all this, and it's going to have all these games and everything like that, and I can pay, $20 a month for this, I'm fucking down. I'm absolutely doing it. No thought about it.
It's definitely going to make it easier for you to budget to get a console day one with a subscription service, to then have to make sure you got the putting money away every pay to make sure you got the coinage to pick it up in launch days. So like I said, yeah, if this works well for Microsoft, then Sony's going to follow suit. It'd be brainless not to. So I'm figuring this is going to be the future.
Yeah.
Or a future option.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it here. That's our last topic that we have time for tonight. So, a lot of gaming news here. Some of it important, some of it not. PlayStation controller colors. But some interesting things happening this past week. So, as always, and once again from everybody here at Beyond the Controller, thank you guys so much for listening. Our topics that we talked about will all be linked in the description as well. Make sure you're following us on Twitter to see what we're up to individually and for the Beyond the Controller title itself. And we will see you guys next time. Take care.